Tom Show. It's 9:25. It's a Veterans Day tribute show here. This segment's brought to you by the Valkenburg Law Group. You are family, and no, you're not. Now you need attorney Jason Valkenburg. Whether it's divorce, alimony, child support, visitation, it's personal, it's emotional. Don't go it alone. You can reach Jason at 813-514-1058. You can also email him, jason at valkenburglawgroup.com. Judge Shanti, Judge Holder, Judge Manning, Colonel Reyes are live in studio with me. Johnny B will be here in about 30 minutes. We may sneak into his time slot slightly. I just sent him a text so that way we can squeeze the callers in and obviously wrap up the show with our judges and, of course, the Colonel. Matthew, Kevin, Tipper in that order. Matthew, been holding for a little bit. Thank you so much for the holding through that last break. How can we help you on an issue with your son, sir? Go ahead.
Yes, my son's mother and I have not shared custody. She's the primary as far as our agreement goes. But tonight my son said he wanted to come live with me, and I guess made her mad. And she told me to come pick him up.
Okay,
and I was at my house.
Well, how old is your son?
He's 15.
Oh, he's 15. And then you said the mother, were you guys married and divorced, or you were just never married and had an agreement? What's the dynamic as far as the relationship now, so I understand?
Never married. We were together for about 2 years back when I was 21, and then, I'm 36 now, so it's been a while.
Have you been?
We've never really seen eye to eye on things.
Do you have a court order, or is this just an agreement between the parties? And what's the legality of the relationship?
We do have a court order,
okay.
Visitation, child support, everything all set up.
Well, legally, I mean, if he wanted to come over to see you tonight, and she said, "Come get him," and and things like that happen with teenagers, and you went to go pick him up. Prevail, and maybe they had an argument or disagreement. Obviously, you're fine doing that, and then just circle back with her tomorrow. You're not supposed to have him on this day as the issue that you're concerned with, or breaking that agreement.
I just want to make sure legally I'm covered. Like, she's not going to call the police and say I kidnapped him.
Well, first of all, this is all being recorded. So, I mean, you're telling us the situation that, they had a disagreement. She asked you to come get him. We're on with, judges. I don't think anybody's going to arrest you because of the circumstances of the dynamic. But what you need to do is just in the morning call and say, look, if everything's all right, we'd like to go back to the agreement. If she says, look, we want to divert from the agreement, get that in writing. It can be so simple as a text, something in writing, an email, saying until things situate, or if you want to change the agreement. But no, I don't. You're not in any immediate danger based on that fact pattern, sir. But thank you very much for calling into the show, and God bless you there with your son. Take care, okay? Kevin, you're on with Ask Dom Medical Malpractice. I hope you're okay. What's your issue on that regard?
Basically, my situation is I'm being scheduled pretty soon for a surgery. What's going on is I have a pituitary tumor, and it's something that I've been aware of for a while. I kind of uncovered it about, I'd say, 4 years ago. But it affects the hormone levels in the pituitary gland, and so what happened through the endocrinologist and the primary care physician after uncovering it is they led me down like a little bit of a rabbit hole that showed me it was more than likely caused from a medication that I was prescribed in the early 2000s. Now, after doing some research, I found that medication was involved in a class action suit. Now, I'm trying to kind of stay out of the Google trap of, over-researching it and what came first, the chicken or the egg type thing as to...
And everything online is accurate. I mean, everything is true. Yeah, you got to believe everything online. I'm joking, everybody. Listen, what's that talking about? I'm joking.
Well, and so my problem here is obviously my biggest concern is my health and what's going to happen for my family and making sure that is... all works out, but where there's possibly could be the result of me being on a medication.
Well, let me stop you real quick because I got some callers and got short on time. Medical malpractice might not be your issue. That's a 2-year statute of limitations, and there's a little caveat from the time in which you would have known that potential malpractice would have occurred. And then, of course, you got to get doctors to say that the doctors that treated you deviated from the standard of care that the expert doctors would have used. But you said a product. Medication, which would then yield to more products liability than that of medical malpractice. But then you also said 2000s, and here we are, in the latter part of 2019. So a statute of limitations issue would then arise as well. So you got a variety of different concepts going on. It doesn't mean that you're dead in the water. However, you go to AskTheDom.com. A little more information is what I need from you, and I can see if I can get you to the right lawyer to help you out. Tipper, Mark, Chuck, in that order. Tipper is a great listener to the show. He always calls in. Tipper, Kat is freaking out. Johnny already texted me, Kat. He said everything's okay, so relax. If they fire you, Kat, I'll represent you. Okay. You understand they can't do anything to you. I'm your lawyer. Why are you so nervous? Oh, the warrant. Oh, by the way, Kat has a warrant. He didn't want you judges to know. Tipper, you're on with Ask the Tom. You want to say something to the judges or for the vets, sir?
I'm Dom. I didn't hear the bell. Am I on now, Dom?
Yeah, you're on live. Yes. How you doing, my friend? It's good to hear from you.
Excellent. Another great group of guests tonight. 4 tonight. I have so many questions. But they have all seen the effects of war on veterans. And my question is for all of them, really. They've mentioned combat experience, right?
Yes, they have. That's correct, Tipper.
So do they ever wonder why their platoon might be in a certain area of the world, or if the mission is unclear, or if they're in a tough situation like in Iraq, the Shia and the Shiites, how they keep going on if they don't understand what they're doing over there, being a leader, and keep pushing on. And also looking back on those efforts of America and Iraq, what they feel the results, considering the costs to the country, and the citizens sure want to know.
Okay, Tipper, what I'll do is I'll let you go because the time, and I'll let each panel answer according to their comfort level. We can start. I'll start across the other room. Judge Manning, if you want to go, then we'll just work our way across if you have any response to Tipper.
Sure. I spent a number of deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan. It does come a point in time where you might question the mission. You might wonder why you're in certain areas. You have to recall that you swear an oath. You swear an oath to our country to uphold our values. You are a fighting soldier. You have an obligation to your unit, to the men and women that you serve with. As a leader, you do your best to understand what the mission is, and you impart that information to the men and women that serve beneath you.
Excellent.
Thank you, Judge. Colonel, any response for Tipper?
Sure. Another way of looking at it is there was a gentleman, his name was Clausewitz, and he talked about the fog of war. So in an environment, in a combat environment, the best well-laid plans from our leaders, well-intended and well-planned, at times in a combat environment, soldiers at the lowest levels will experience the fog of war. But it's through the training of our leaders, based on our ethos and based on our values, that allows us down to the soldier level, down to the foxhole level, to understand the commander's intent, as foggy as it may be, and have the resiliency and the flexibility to accomplish that mission, given the resources, given the time, and given the other constraints that we have.
Thank you, Colonel. Judge Holder.
Well, I think Judge Manning stated it best with respect to the oath we take to support, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. We're required, and the oath that we take to God is that we will follow the lawful orders of our superior officers, up to and including the Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States, whoever that person might be. And that's what all four of us have done throughout our careers, is follow the lawful orders. If at any time an order appears to be unlawful, appears to be a violation of human rights, then indeed we have the moral, ethical, and legal obligation to question that order. And in fact, depending upon, that legality, perhaps disobey that order. That's consistent with our oath.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. Judge Shanti.
Over the course of my 20 years of service in the United States Army, I've had multiple combat tours of duty in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I've never had occasion to question any mission that I've been on, any order out. All of our missions ensured that our soldiers understood, as Colonel Reyes mentioned, the commander's intent, try to instill confidence in my peers and my subordinates so that we could accomplish that mission. That's what that's what we collectively have raised our hand to do, to swear an oath to serve. That's what I've done. That's what I continue to do. I'm still in service with the United States Army Reserve. I appreciate the caller's question. And on the eve of Veterans Day, I wanted to take an opportunity to thank all of your listeners who are brave enough to have raised their right hand in service to our nation and privileged enough to wear the uniform of our armed forces. I want to thank each of them for their service, and I know I speak for all of my colleagues and Colonel Reyes for their service, and to the families that support those service members when they're far away from home. So
thank you very much, Judge, and thank you for that question there, Tipper. How much time do we have left for the show?
You have 9 minutes,
and then plus some time with from
plus
Johnny,
I have to have him go into his show, and then you'll overlap it there.
Yeah, we'll just do that.
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
That's exactly how we'll do that.
Gotcha.
All right, so this segment's brought to you by whom I listen to in the background there.
Sansoni.
Is that Dead Air Sansoni? Oh, you know and love him as Dead Air Sansoni from the Acid Noms Show. Federal, state criminal defense, traffic law defense as well. He serves Hernando, Pasco, Pinellas, Hillsborough, Polk, Sarasota, Manatee. Bill, can we just say the whole state? He does anywhere in the state of Florida. Give Bill a call, 813-361-0874. He's awesome. We love him. Bill at Sansoni-law.com. It's the Acid Noms Show. We'll be right back.